Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Unit 4 through 7a, final review video number 3. Let's go ahead and finish this packet. So, which is the graph of -1 less than or equal to x? Okay, right away you should think, I need to rewrite that because the variable is not first. Okay, x comes first, then the 1. Now, we know there's a line underneath it, so we know that this is a closed. So while this might be a little bit confusing at first, get rid of those two because those are wrong. Okay, now who is the sign pointing to? Okay, it's pointing at the -1. So x is greater than or equal to -1, which is b. Okay, always make sure that the variable is first. Okay, now the graph below represents the solution of an inequality. Which of the following specifies the same solution in an algebraic form? Right, now the first thing I notice is that there are two of those. Okay, so I need to have two pieces of information in my answer. Now, whenever there's this break here, that's when we use or. So D is the correct answer for number 28. Number 29. We're doing the same directions. Okay. Now, same thing as the last one. We have two pieces of information here. So that's what we need to know. Now, we have a -2, and we've got a 2. The x goes in the middle. Right away, I know one is open and one is closed. Okay, so one of these has to have a line underneath it, and the other one does not. Okay, so which one is it going to be? Both of these point to the left, and when we figure that out, we get ding, 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 C. Number 30, which of the following represents the real values of x that are solutions to the inequality -4 is less than 3x minus 5? So I'm just going to rewrite the problem right here. Now let's solve this, okay? We want to get the x by itself. So we have to add 5 to both sides. We get 1 less than 3x. Divide by 3. We get 1/3 is less than x. Now we just talked about this, how we want the variable first. So when we rewrite this, it's pointing at the 1/3. Make sure it's pointing at the 1/3. Okay. And then when we look at our answers, we get C. Which of the following is the solution to the inequality 4 minus 2 parentheses x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 3x plus 1? Let's draw the line and start going through. You have to distribute first. So 4 minus 2x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 3x plus 1. Combine your like terms. -2x plus 10 is greater than or equal to 3x plus 1. I want my variable on the left side. So that's the only thing that we changed. Get the x by itself. And then the last step is to divide by -5. Oh, I'm sorry, and that's, duh, Mr. Grice, that's a -9. So we get x, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and you need to flip the sign because we divided by a negative. So the correct answer is da, 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 C. Right? Okay, yeah, because my C is missing that line underneath it. So C is the correct answer. Alrighty. Number 32. Which of the following is the solution of the inequality -6 is less than 24? Draw the line. To solve for x, we have to divide by -6. X, -4. So hey, we know it's -4. Get rid of the ones that don't have -4 in your answer. We just talked about it. We divided by a negative, so you need to flip the sign. X is greater than -4. All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. Number 33 says to solve x plus 5, the absolute value of x plus 5 equals 7. Okay, so what we have to do here is we've talked about absolute values. They have two answers. It can be a negative or it can be a positive. So we have to solve both of those to figure out what it is. So subtract the 5 and we get -12. Subtract the 5 on the other side and x equals 2. So it's not just one of them or the other, it's both of them. So get rid of those two. And the correct answer is D. Now for 34, before we separate it into two problems, we have to simplify it. You might be like, whoa, Mr. Grice, it's negative. That means it's no solution. We don't know that yet. Add the 7. Oh, those don't cancel out. And we get the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 2. Okay, so it is going to have an answer. So x minus 2, we have our 2, and then one's going to be negative, and one's going to be positive. Add 2, add 2, x equals 0. Remember, you got to do it to both sides. Two answers, no, no, no. So we get C. Okay, which of the following inequalities is represented by the shaded region below? Okay, so a couple things, and we can start eliminating some problems. Okay, this is our x, and this is our y. It crosses the y graph, so this is starts with a y. Okay, so we can eliminate two of those. It's solid, and we shade below. So that means if it's solid, it's got to have the line underneath it. And since it's below, we have to use the less than. And then when you count, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, number 36. Choose the inequality whose solution is the graph below. Use the slope and y-intercept to help. Okay, so the slope and the y-intercept. Now to find the slope, look at those 2 points. Okay, the slope is going down, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our slope is negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. Okay, so good. Negative up, nope. Okay, so we're almost there. That's a positive 4. All of those are positive 4, so we can't cross that out. Now, let's look at our line. It's a solid line, and it's shaded below. So if it's solid, it's got to have the line underneath it. And if it's below, it's less than. So when we start to write this, it's y is less than or equal to negative x plus 4. You take all of that information to help you solve, and you end up getting C. Now, the reason why it's not A, it's because that line would be dashed, okay, because it doesn't have the line below it. Okay, number 37 says graph the linear system and identify the solution. So, you know the slope is negative 1/2, and we start at 2. So there's 2, down 1, over 2, down 1, over 2. And I'm just going to put a bunch of dots out there, okay? And then draw your line. And we're going to do the same thing here. Our slope is 3 over 2, and your y-intercept is 2. Up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. But what do I already know? I knew this as soon as I put my first point down. Where do they meet? Mr. Grice, it was the first point that we did. Good, that's correct. Now, what is it though? Well, let's see. X is 0, y is 2. Okay, last page. We only got a couple more. Just graph the linear system. Make sure their slope-intercept form first. Okay, the nice thing about the first one is it's already in slope-intercept form. Okay, so you're starting at negative 3. Follow the slope. Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. I'd do a couple in each direction just to be sure. And draw your line. So now for this other one, we have to put it in slope-intercept form. So we have to solve for y. Subtract the 2x. 3y equals negative 2x plus 3. Divide by 3. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1, which means our slope is negative 2/3, and that's 1. So I'm starting at 1, down 2, over 3, and right away, I found where they met. So you can draw your line, and know that that point is where those lines meet. Okay? And that's at positive 3, negative 1, which is C. What value of x and y satisfy this system? Hint, since they don't provide a graph, you can use the substitution method. Okay, so we need to know what variables alone, circle it, and where we're plugging in. Okay, and for that, you're plugging in 4y minus 2. This is our checkpoint because we need to make sure that we have only y's, which we do. So now we can distribute. You get 8y minus 4 minus 6y equals negative 2. Combine your like terms. 2y minus 4 equals negative 2. Add the 4 to both sides. 2y equals 2. Divide by 2. Y equals 1. Okay, now that we know what y is, plug it into the x. 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So our answer is 2, comma 1, which is D. Now, if you look right away, y is 1. Did we know our answer right away? Well, that's not 1. That's not 1. And that's not 1. So always make sure to see if you can eliminate answers before you start. Okay? Now, once again, we're using substitution. X is by itself. Oh, we're not plugging in there, Mr. Grice. I'm pointing at the wrong variable. So there's the X. Plug in the value. Y plus 2. There's our checkpoint. We only have y's. Go ahead and distribute. You get 4y plus 8 plus y equals 23. Combine your like terms. 5y equals, oh, no, not equals, plus 8, I'm jumping, equals 23. Subtract the 8s. And then to get the y by itself, we need to divide by 5. So y equals 3. Now, see if you guys can do what we did on that last one. Which ones can you eliminate? If you can, get your answer right now. If you can't, we have to plug it in. We're plugging in the y, which is 3. So x equals 5. 5 comma 3 is A. And what I was talking about, y equals 3, same thing, man. After you do that first step, you could eliminate everything, and you could have found your right answer. Well, that's it for Algebra 1, Unit 4 through 7A, Final Review, Video number 3. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys.